about 4 different areas of the deaf community. So we have BSL, British Sign Language users. We have people that use what we call sign-supported English, so sign with a more English grammar structure. We've got cochlear implant users, and sometimes you can sort of recognise other deaf people, but it's really important to kind of work out, are they profoundly deaf? Do they identify as hard of hearing? Do they lip read? So we're not all the same. Deaf people are not homogenous in that way. We have sort of people who use BSL and are BSL users. There are people who use sign language with a more of an English grammar structure. You might have cochlear implant users who prefer to speak. So we use the title deaf, but there's a lot of different variations under that umbrella. So I just wanted to explain that there isn't just a homogenous kind of nation of deaf people. We have different sort of groups of deaf people, people who identify as hard of hearing, people who've become deafened in later life, or people that have had technical aids, for example, cochlear implants. So we're all very kind of varied in the deaf community. So when I talk about British Sign Language, for example, today I'm going to go somewhere. So I just say, today I've gone somewhere. So I don't actually follow the full English grammar structure and use word for word signs. I just go, today gone, or today go. I don't use a full English grammar structure. And we have been really struggling to get British Sign Language registered as a protected language in law. I went to Scotland, I met some MPs, I talked to them, and it was wonderful to see, for example, during the COVID briefings, the Scottish First Minister, they had an interpreter with them, and the Scottish had the BSL Act, their Scottish BSL Act, way before the England did, and we've been campaigning for years and years for that. So you never see the Prime Minister with an interpreter next to him in England, but you do in Scotland. So I'm still campaigning, we've still got a way to go to get British Sign Language really embedded and recognised. So I actually have a cochlear implant. This might surprise you. I think I was 13 when I had the procedure and the operation. And then afterwards, I could hear some sounds, but it was quite stressful. I could hear sometimes people talking, but not the actual words. At school, I used my cochlear. And then about 13, 14, 15, I used my cochlear. And then at 15, 16, I actually decided to not use my cochlear. The reason being is because I went to a deaf college in Derby. I arrived. Everyone was very strong sign language users, and I actually got bullied for having a cochlear implant. Everyone said you must use full BSL and sign language. I think this was about 16, 17. And actually, you know, and also I found that the technology started to hurt the nerves in my cheek as well. So it wasn't just the experience at the college, it was also nerve damage in my cheek from the cochlear. So I took the decision to not use the cochlear, and I'm a British Sign Language user now. So SSE, obviously you're reading English with an English grammar structure. So you say, I must go now, or I must go somewhere now, and you actually speak word for word. SSE will follow the English. BSL picks out key words and creates a visual message. SSE actually follows the English grammar structure, and sometimes you almost sign word for word. So sometimes when I'm signing in BSL, my interpreter is adding in words and editing, and actually sometimes I have to wait for my interpreter to finish speaking because I'm faster than her. So it is slightly different, the use of British Sign Language to sign-supported English. Oral communication. So I'll explain a little bit about that. Obviously, people who can hear and speak, that's great, that's fine. When I was born, growing up, I was deaf, but some people are born hearing and then suddenly lose their hearing. And then they have to learn to lip read. Lip reading's really tough. You have to try and speak slowly. Some people don't learn sign language but try and lip read. And we call this oral education and oralism. So we might have people who wear cochlear implants, we have British Sign Language users, we have people who use sign-supported English, and we have people who prefer to lip read and speak for themselves, potentially using communication aids, and those are sort of areas of deaf community. So I sort of have this kind of philosophy about BSL. I think about myself as a BSL user, and I've kind of converted the acronym BSL into a business metaphor. So I talk about base and system and leverage, and I take BSL into this business acronym, base, system and leverage. I like SSE, I like using SSE, I'm a businessman, so I think, SSE, I've converted that to save, spend, save and earn. So these are my kind of acronyms, and they're easier to remember because I follow BSL and SSE with these acronyms. So these are companies that I've been involved with. These are private companies. There are some charities.